Tonight, an exclusive 5 on Your Side investigation into a multi-billion-dollar crime.
Swindlers tapping into checking accounts, draining life savings, even taking over homes of loved ones. 5 on Your Side Chief Investigator Ron Regan is with us tonight. And Ron, you found out that the vast majority of these people get away scot-free.
Well, despite thousands of complaints, we found a dismal record of actually putting swindlers behind bars, leaving victims unprotected.
From day one. I mean, there were red flags.
She left him indigent.
Chuck Bauer was a proud Army veteran. Now, at 89, he was dead broke. And this is the woman accused of robbing him blind.
How could she possibly treat an elderly person like this and not have a conscience?
37-year-old Latasha Wisniewski met him, struck up a friendship, and moved in.
She could do no wrong, and I'm not hurting your father. I care for him.
Both his daughter and granddaughter quickly grew suspicious, even recording one confrontation.
And Grandpa, tell her you don't want her on the property anymore after she drops everything off today.
Wisniewski even got her name on the deed to Bauer's home.
And we were trying to explain to him, you know, what we were seeing, and he just thought she was such a nice person.
Finally calling the one agency in Ohio that's supposed to help.
One call does it all.
We had to constantly contact them. They would never even contact us.
She's talking about Adult Protective Services, a fractured program of underfunded and understaffed agencies, each operated independently by counties across Ohio. In fact, we found 14 counties have no program at all, leaving 500,000 elderly unprotected from swindlers. Even Cuyahoga, one of the largest, is coming under fire.
Yes, absolutely. I feel that they didn't follow up enough. I feel that they weren't asking the right questions. I feel that they weren't doing due diligence and that they weren't doing as much as they could have done.
Marlene Robinson Statler heads up adult protection in Cuyahoga County.
They repeatedly reached out to you, and you repeatedly did nothing for them. Is that accurate?
That would not be accurate.
Bauer's case was among 810 complaints filed last year in Cuyahoga County alone, more than 4,000 across the state. But we found only 124 were actually turned over to police and prosecutors.
124, I agree with you, is a low number, but you also have to understand where we are limited based on funding and based on our state mandate of what we have to do.
Even criminal background checks are not mandated. That's important. We found Latasha Wisniewski twice served time in prison, including theft from a disabled victim.
Did your office know that and move on it? Or were you unaware?
We were unaware as far as her being someone who had a criminal background. What I will say, though...
Shouldn't you, though, have known that?
No.
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 And I believe that if Adult Protective Services would have done their due diligence and worked with the police department a little bit more closely, that they would have probably been able to do something about this sooner.
And get her out of there sooner.
How does it get past an agency like that?
Well, it's a good question.
Brent Kerrville prosecutes crimes against the elderly in Cuyahoga County.
Latasha had enough control over Charles Bauer that she was able to convince Charles Bauer that he would reject any of APS's services.
Susan Marshall heads up Ohio's leading advocacy group for adult protection.
Do you suspect that there are cases that are going unprosecuted and not being referred to law enforcement?
Absolutely.
We found those investigating financial exploitation have limited training and resources.
Are they mandated to be licensed social workers? They are not.
They're not, and they're not mandated to be law enforcement officers.
No, we do not have law enforcement.
Essentially, they take a couple of courses and go out.
Yes.
The bottom line, there just isn't enough money to go around.
Do you believe that you have enough funding for Adult Protective Services to investigate these cases like financial exploitation? Is there enough money in reality?
No. No.
I am grateful to the detectives that stepped in, but not so much with Adult Protective Services, because I don't think that they did their due diligence on this.
And meanwhile, the demand for more thorough investigations is increasing. Nationwide, 1 in 5 elderly are victims, to the tune of $3 billion a year. I'm Chief Investigator Ron Regan.